Welcome to another episode of Drinking After Dark, a podcast where we discuss random topics while having a few drinks. I'm your host, Darius, and as always, drink responsibly. And y'all make sure y'all follow Drinking After Dark podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And y'all make sure y'all like and subscribe to Drinking After Dark podcast YouTube channel. Tonight, I have some special guests with me. Returning again, I got my cousin Ronald Hayes and my boy Sherman Green. What's going on?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm all right, man. Just living life, man, having fun, man, enjoying this right now, enjoying this nice weather before it really heats up. So I'm so I'm just enjoying it right now. I've been outside pretty much all day. So I'm enjoying it. Then I'll be inside once it gets up there. Because I'm not gonna be out there sweating and getting dark. I'm not gonna do that.
Shit, that's
Not
next
me.
week.
Sure is. And the sad part about it is next week I gotta work the rodeo in town next Saturday. So I'm gonna be outside. So hopefully, it's not gonna be too bad, but hopefully, I'll be straight. So tonight is a very special episode because this is the 100th episode. So I just want to thank everybody who's been supporting me, to all the guests who've came on and just came on to have fun with me, man. We talked about a lot of things and stuff like that. And I'm looking forward to the next 100. So I just want to say thanks to everybody who's supporting. Keep supporting, man. And I got more stuff coming your way. So stay tuned to that. So before we get started, hey Ronald, man, what you drinking on tonight?
Man, you already know what I'm drinking on. Fiore hemp-infused vodka. Shout out to the Fiore Vodka Company. They make a fantastic product. As I've told you before, it's the only vodka that I can drink straight. I need to get you up here, man, so I can get you on this so you can do a review.
Oh, I definitely will do that. Sherman, what you drinking on?
Let me go here. So I think I'm gonna do this Crown.
Which
The
one is that?
caramel.
Oh, caramel. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this tonight. Just a little
Definitely.
bit.
Well, I'm doing something a little different tonight for the 100th episode. I actually did a review on this not too long ago, and I like it. So tonight I'm drinking on it's called the Royal Hard Orange Cream Soda. So what is that? That's pretty much Crown Royal vanilla mixed with orange soda. So
Okay.
Interesting. So did they stop making the Crown Maple since you're, a Crown connoisseur, which I once was till I switched to bourbon? Did they stop making the Crown Maple?
well,
I haven't seen it.
I mean, I haven't really seen it, so I guess they have. Only ones I know that I've seen in the stores are the regular, the apple, the caramel, the vanilla. They have the new green apple. No, not the green apple. Golden apple. They have that, of course. Well, I haven't really seen the black either. I haven't really seen that.
They sell it up here in Nashville.
They got it up here in Virginia.
Well, I must be overlooking it.
They don't sell a whole lot of it, but yeah, they still sell it.
Okay.
Then of course they still carry the Reserve, the XR, the Noble.
Yeah,
you need to try that Jamie Foxx bourbon. It's good.
Is it? I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about that, but it's on my radar. I'm about to check it out. Oh, okay.
Gotta be cold.
Oh, that's one of those. It's got to open up.
Let me see.
That in mind.
You said Jamie Foxx bourbon?
Yeah, it's called BSB.
Oh, okay. Let me see what that is real quick.
It's like a cinnamon bourbon. It's pretty smooth. Put it on some rocks or put it in the freezer. Real smooth.
You can drink it straight. You can enjoy it straight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You don't need no chaser, no nothing.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna go look for it.
The only thing I'm gonna tell you, that joint hard to find. I'm not gonna lie to you. Cause more like liquor store up here, man, I had to go to 3 of them just to find it.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Well,
so
you
I
know, if
mean,
I
I guess a
can't,
lot of people like it.
well, if I can't
Well,
find it in town, I'll go to, probably Guthrie or Oak Grove and see if I can find it.
Yeah, you probably find it out
So
there for sure.
I mean, it's pretty inexpensive
yeah, that's
No,
what I
it's
was
not.
looking
It's
at.
not.
from what I
Yeah.
see online.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm definitely
That's
gonna
what
try
older
that.
people sipping on now, man. I was with an old head and he gave me some. I was like, "Damn, it's pretty smooth." And I was like,
I'm about to check that
should
out.
I grab me a bottle?"
What did it taste like to you?
To me, it has like a cinnamon taste to it. So but it's like a sweet cinnamon taste. Like it's smooth. It's kind of like the caramel, the salty caramel Crown Royal. How it's smooth like that. It's just like that, pretty much. It's real smooth.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
But
check
you
that
gotta
out.
make
I
sure
might
you
get a bottle
gotta
this
make sure
weekend.
make sure you put it on ice. Put it on some ice or put it in the freezer. They get a nice little chill to it. You can drink it straight. You don't need no chaser at all.
But
Okay.
My wife ain't even no bourbon drinking. She drunk some. So what that tell you? Yeah.
that's a smooth bourbon.
Yeah. She don't even drink. She's like, nah, that's pretty smooth. I like that.
Yep, I'm definitely gonna go. Matter of fact, probably maybe after I get off of here, I'll probably go straight to the store, see if I can find it.
But let me know if
Yeah.
you find it. If you can't find it, definitely I can get you a bottle of this one.
Okay, bet. Definitely. Man, I'm gonna tell y'all one thing, man. This I know we was talking a little bit before we got on here. And Sherman, I think I'm gonna be with you, man. I don't think I'm gonna watch the finals. Like I'm kind of like at first I was like, man, you know what? I might watch it, but I don't know, man. Know what I'm gonna do? No, I'm gonna do. I'm gonna
I'm
watch
gonna watch game one. I'm gonna watch
That's what
game
I was gonna
one.
say. That's what I said. I'm gonna watch game one and then
Yeah.
just go from there. And I'm just gonna
Mhm.
see how it plays out. If it's a good game, then I'm gonna watch the rest of it. But if it's not what I think
Right.
it's gonna be, then I'm not gonna do it. Cat Caprice, what's going on?
Hey,
How y'all been?
I'm doing
Good, man. Good to see y'all, man. Congratulations.
I know. 100.
Appreciate it. Yeah, don't even feel like I've been doing it that long. It went by pretty quick.
That's work.
Yep. It'll be actually 2 years. I released the first episode on June 18th, actually. Yeah.
That's
No, right before Juneteenth.
Yep.
that's
So,
an episode a week, ain't it?
yep, episode a week.
That's
So
awesome.
So yeah, it went by pretty quick, man. It didn't even feel like it until I think it was like earlier this year when I started realizing I'm like, dang, I'm about to do 100 by Juneteenth week. Before then. So I was like, man, it's been a blessing though to stay consistent with it, man. And just I was able to meet new people. Caprice, I met you pretty much through here and everything like that. Of course, some other people. So, it's been a blessing to have this platform, man, and also to share it with you guys. So
We didn't want to interrupt with y'all conversation, man. We just wanted to chime in and say we always believed in you, man. We always knew you had it in you, and we super proud of you, man. I mean, I've seen this from the very beginning when we talked about it, and I'm super excited to see what you do in the future, man. But just wanted to salute you, man. You've been there with me my whole career and just helping me with everything and helping me grow as an individual, man. But I'm just super proud of you, and I wanted to tell you, man, the man face to face, how proud we are of you, man. And just keep going, man. We believe in you, man. Just trust in God and keep going. And it's love.
appreciate it. I really appreciate that, man. Appreciate all the love and everything sending my way. Kat, you was one of my very first guests I had on the podcast. So, and for you to keep coming back on when I asked you, what I mean, it's been a blessing to have you part of this as well. So, you too, Caprice. So,
What you
Thank you.
drinking though? That ain't your normal drink.
so when
Drinking
I'm drinking on something different tonight, man. It is called the Royal Hard Orange Cream Soda. So I actually did a review on this. Me and my boy James did a review on it. Saw it online on the Crown Royal website. when they put all the
Yeah.
recipes and on there. And I was like, what is that? So basically it's Crown vanilla mixed with orange soda.
Okay.
Man, so that means your next venture is creating your own drink and selling it on the platform when people come and visit you. That'll be the next thing right there.
Well, I'm not gonna say anything, but I'm in the beginning stages of it. So right now I'm just experimenting right
That's
now.
awesome.
So yeah, so I'm writing. I mean, that's the only thing I do pretty much, man. Like right now, when I'm not working, I'm working on new ways to continue to build up this platform through the podcast. Of course, I got the reviews up now on the YouTube channel. So y'all go check that out. I got some stuff on
Okay.
there. Me and my boy James have tried out, some good things, some not so good things, but having fun with it, having fun, just continue to branch out and do different things. And I'm like I said, I'm enjoying it, man. It's just something I'm really enjoy doing. I'm having fun with it. And I get a lot of traction that way too. So and I'm getting a lot. So if there's anything, like I know my cousin Ron got his drink. So I definitely want to try that, stuff like that. I probably will be I don't know. My anniversary is coming up, so I gotta see what's going on with that. So
Yeah.
I might be in Nashville for that, for my anniversary. So we'll see. And
Ron,
I'll go ahead.
what kind of drink Ron got?
No, this ain't my drink. Let's be clear. This is my one of my business partners' drinks, but it's Fiore vodka, and it's
Wow.
Mhm.
it's a hemp infused vodka,
Okay.
and
Okay.
it's
Okay.
it's locally based out here in Nashville. So
That's
man,
awesome.
if
How
you
much
never
the
get
bottle
a
go for?
man, about $30.
Yeah, I might have
Wow.
to get with you after this
I
podcast and see if you can get
I
that to me.
I guess I ain't never paid for one. However,
I know.
I
I got you.
He said
But
he
I
definitely need the bottle. I definitely put that in my collection.
man, I mean, honestly, it's a great product. And then he has another one coming out that I've sampled, and it's where this one is smooth on the front end, and you kind of catch, that vodka taste on the back. What he has coming out is a reverse process to where it's harsher going in, more like moonshine, but it has a smooth finish.
Yeah, that's awesome. So is it a
Okay.
place? Where do you get it at? Do you got to come to Nashville and get it, or is he actually shipping it out once you buy it?
Well, he's shipping it out, and I know he's in a lot of major markets like Chicago, Detroit, Atlanta. I don't know if they sell it in Clarksville, but if y'all are interested, I can get y'all. I can find exactly how much it is, and I can get a bottle sent to y'all. But yeah,
Yeah, we definitely need that information just to
it's-
support.
it's definitely a great product. I kid you not.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm interested. I mean, sure, I'm going to try it right now. I wish you was here in person. I'll try it with you.
Drinking at the door. Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I mean, I should have got my piece of. Know what? I already got the bourbon thing on the screen right here, but yeah, Ron, I'm definitely gonna get that information because I want to try that.
Okay, I'll send it to
Definitely
you.
gonna appreciate that. Appreciate that. Hey, Caprice. So matter of fact, I'm glad all y'all here because I want to talk about this topic real quick. Caprice, I don't know if you know that the Clarksville Montgomery County school system is suing the major social media companies.
No, I haven't heard about that.
Yeah, so they're actually suing the major social media companies, like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Google, Snapchat, YouTube, WhatsApp, because of, well, they're citing damages and growing mental health crisis amongst students.
Wow.
So I don't know if you, Caprice, I think you remember this, how there's been some damages at some schools in Clarksville because of social media, and there was a viral post that had like 500,000 views. I forgot, it was one of the high schools, but it went viral. I guess they were simulating shooting a gun or something like that. I don't know, but they did a video in school, and then the student uploaded got 500,000 views, and all those students who was in the video got suspended, I think, for a day. So they're pretty much suing the major social media companies for that. Who was representing them? I just saw it in my up on here. But
It's a law firm out of Florida, I believe.
Okay.
let's see. It said a French law group in California in
Cali,
collaboration
my bad.
with Lewis Thomason in Tennessee. Yeah, so I'm gonna start with you, Caprice. How do you feel about that lawsuit that the school system is filing against the social media companies?
I'm not sure how much weight that'll hold because I mean, you kind of got to have responsibility on your end too, as far as the school system. Like, what happened to the cell phone having to be in the locker or somewhere put up to where the students don't have as much access to the social media during the day? Like, I can remember being in school when 9/11 hit and they cut off all Wi-Fi connection, like the computers and everything was shut down to shield us from what was going on in the world when 9/11 was taking place. So with that being said, I mean, I understand that emergencies happen in school where like it might be an active school shooter or whatever, and kids may need to reach their parents or what have you, but there needs to be things set in place to where the students don't have as much access to or certain things, like how they did with when we were in COVID and all the kids had laptops, but the social media links were disabled so that they couldn't do social media but focus on their schoolwork. So if they had something like that in place, then that really wouldn't be a major issue. But as far as suing social media, I mean, nah. And then at the same time, on the back end, it's like these trends got these kids in a chokehold. So even with them like running around trying to slap the teachers and all of that stuff, like they brainwashed in real life.
What about you, Kat?
What?
Man, I
Okay,
would
just,
agree 100% with what Caprice is saying. I don't feel like it's a school or a social media thing. I feel like it's more so a moral of the world type of thing. Because at the end of the day, these children are doing what's allowed at home. You know, we don't have a moral in the regular world, so you can sue social media, but you got grown adults doing foolish stuff on social media. So this is everywhere. So a lot of this is how you raise your children. It's certain things I just wouldn't do, especially putting it on social media or anywhere where my mama could see it, just because of how I was raised and the moral and the standard of how I was living. So I feel like this world is just in a disarray, and I don't feel like that's something that social media can be blamed for, because you got to think grown adults are constantly doing stuff and thinking it's funny and posting it and just doing any kind of old thing on social and sharing it on social media. So you can't blame social media. I feel like this is a thing that people are using it and they misusing it, but I don't think they're to blame.
right.
Me personally.
Yeah.
What about you, Sherman?
Be honest with you, these kids don't even need to have cell phones in school. Point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? All these slapping challenges and stuff. Yeah, they don't realize how that stuff messes with their life. You understand? Because when you're a teenager and you get that felony charge and you try to get a job when you're older, it's gonna bite you in your butt. You understand? And everybody wants to be famous, and sometimes you just stay in your own lane. You know what I'm saying? Don't follow. Don't monkey see, monkey do. You know what I'm saying? So hey, it is what it is. The world is social media. You know
Hey, let me say one more thing.
But
I agree with that, but it's amazing because you got to think about this right here. Anything that's supposed to be helpful in this regular world, we want to take away. So the social media thing, they want to sue social media now, but they wanted to take prayer out of school. So you got to think about stuff that would be something that would help the school or help the students. They want to take that out, and then they allow the social media. So prayer being in school and things that would possibly help the community or help children or help the world is what they want to take out until it's the time to be politically correct. So now it's just like they have to find somebody to blame now. You get what I'm saying?
I get that totally. Yeah, that's totally 100%. But on that topic right there, you talking about taking out prayer and taking out Black history. You know, they taking out cursive in elementary school. So how you supposed to be able to sign something? You understand what I'm saying? Everything is technical. You know what I'm saying? You got kids with iPads and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? But then you got to think about it. People in high school, they get out of high school, they financially illiterate.
Yeah.
Can't write a check. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't know how to, you know what I'm saying? Do certain things. Everything is digital. You get what I'm saying? So therefore, I mean, you're hindering it's a good thing. Social media is a good thing, and it can be a bad thing.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because it's a hit or miss. You can use it for good or you can use it for bad.
Well, unfortunately, we live in a social media driven society.
Yeah.
And like you said a moment ago, every child has a phone, or sometimes we have 3-4-year-olds running around with electronic devices. Hell,
Yeah.
an iPad ain't nothing but a big ass phone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
And you also have to keep in mind that I haven't lived in Clarksville in almost 20 years. So it seems like it's becoming more progressive. So I'm not going to call it blue or red. We're going to call it a deep shade of purple right now.
Mhm.
However, Montgomery County is definitely a red county. And I'm sure everybody on here can agree with that. With that being said, it's awful funny how you come out with a lawsuit against social media for mental health after there's a school shooting an hour up the road from you. So it seems like to me, they're trying to drive the narrative instead of just like every other red city, red state, red county,
Mhm.
instead of assuming responsibility for, hey, we need to get assault weapons banned, we need to get weapons out of the hands of the mentally ill. They're more focused on just calling it. Anytime there's a mass shooting, it's always mental illness, which is bull, because you're not mentally ill if you can sit there and elaborately lay out plans to do a mass shooting.
Yeah.
So hi. So so the question is, like, we know this basically what's been going on in Clarksville has been happening with the high schools and everything here. Not saying it doesn't happen on a middle school level, but more so it's been happening on the high school level here. I mean, once again, like I pointed out, I remember it was damages to one school because of a TikTok trend that they want to follow. And what else? What happened at another school that went viral and everything like that. But with that being said, where does the accountability take place at home?
I was just about to ask that. I guess it doesn't. Everybody's looking for a scapegoat. Everybody wants to point the finger. I mean, I'm 53 years old, and I do not. School shootings back then wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
You didn't even have a gun. See, when you was in school, you was worried about chasing girls and everything else.
Right.
Kids wasn't worried about no dang guns.
More focused
you know
on
what I'm
being a kid, and then they talk about bullying. I mean, there were bullies. Everybody encounters bullying, but the best way to attack a bully is to hit them dead in the mouth. So why aren't we teaching why aren't we teaching our kids that? You know, I remember when I would go out and get in a fight, and they'd be like, if you lose your fight, you can't come home, which is kind of weird in itself because now I'm homeless because this guy got better hands than me. However, it teaches you, but it teaches you to, to not to cower, not to back down, to do what you have to do to stand up for yourself.
Yeah. But what I agree with that 100%. I feel like not only just pointing the blame, but at the same time, I think we setting our children up for failure because it's like no accountability in anything. Run, take the easy route with everything. It's like, if you get beat up back in the day, you took that L, you took that L. Now people are so worried about being seen and showing the fight, or something happened to somebody getting killed. They're more so ready to record it and call 911 because I want to be number one or the first person to say this or the first person to show something instead of actually taking accountability and responsibility in a situation and saving somebody else. So it's all about being seen these days. And that moral and that of what we're doing is ruining our children and is going to continue and going to ruin them even furthermore when they become adults.
Well, that leads back to what I said earlier. I mentioned that we are residing in a social media driven society. People will do anything for likes.
Yeah.
Clout chasing is real. And some people they realize they could do something foolish and get some attention behind it.
Yeah.
The 15 minutes of fame, so to speak.
Is it more of a
Something I
general?
peeped
Oh, go
was
ahead,
the-
Caprice.
Something I peeped was like how I think they were saying like China, they limit the amount of hours that they have their kids on TikTok, and they monitor the content that they see. So whereas our kids are looking at dance challenges and all that stuff, their kids are watching people go to outer space or watching people explore the earth and stuff like that. So the content is completely different, which they playing, of course, China, they always play the long game, and now they're producing astronauts and geologists and stuff like that, and we producing influencers, people who want to wake up rich.
Yeah. But and even to add to that, you got to think, you have moms twerking on Instagram and their daughters right behind them. So it ain't even, it's the thing that you teaching your children these things.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we all know there's good and bad that comes with social media and everything like that, but it seems like you said, the influence of social media, especially with this generation. Like we had MySpace, but like you said, we had to get home first just to get on MySpace. We couldn't access it from a phone and everything like that.
What song you putting all that?
Yeah, like you're gonna design your page and put whatever song you want to and all that. Top 8, top 4, however you want to do it, whatever. But we wasn't influenced by that. But now we got a generation, only thing they know is social media. They know all this technology. So without that, I mean, you start seeing what's the generation? Was it Gen Z, pretty much?
Zen or X, one of them.
Gen Z, I think that's the generation. If they really, I've seen so many times where they will do anything, like you said, do anything to get the attention that they so desperately seek.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, why do you need validation from social media? Why do you need to, in ways degrade yourself, just to get people to look at you, or do like these stupid pranks and stuff like that just to get people to, follow you or grow your page or do whatever. You know what I mean? And back to what Caprice said with TikTok, we all know that's a Chinese-based company. So of course they're going to protect their own over there, but over here they know what we like over here. So they're going to show what we like over here, even though they try to make some changes, right? Because when I go on my TikTok, they have like categories now. It ain't just like a For You page anymore. They have like certain categories now. Like they got the STEM category under mine now, so I can actually go in there and look at some stuff, right? But they still got the For You page where people still look at it. And you pretty much going to see the same videos by different people over and over and over again, because they follow trends. They follow trends. We don't actually have people who are trendsetters. So I just think that when it comes to the school system suing, I don't think how they're going to win. I mean, with all these companies going after, there's too much money involved. They got powerful lawyers and all of that stuff. I don't see how they're going to come out on top. But, I guess, like I said, they're just trying to put it out there and see what happens. Bring some type of attention to it.
I don't think they're planning on winning. I think they know it's an uphill battle. They're just trying to drive the narrative.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah. This is, I mean, I guess you gotta pick your fights wisely, but this is not one of them. I think this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but here's the thing too, like what Sherman said with the phones and everything in school. You know this. If we had a phone in our pocket, it went off, it gets taken.
Yeah.
But now they have free will, just recording whatever, with their phones and stuff. And I guess they pay more attention to social media at school than they do it with their own schoolwork. Because they uploading real quick. You know, you got people who want to be in front of the camera. It used to be people who didn't want to be in front of the camera. Now they want to be in front of the camera because they want to be seen.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think this is like one of those fights where I guess the school system is, you know, they want somebody to take accountability for what's going on with their students messing up their schools.
Yeah, they
And
need a
doing all these things.
They need a scapegoat.
Yeah.
They need a scapegoat, and that's exactly what it is.
So at the end of the day, bump social media, because if we didn't have social media when we was growing up, everything went smoothly. You understand what I'm saying? Now social media is a big thing. Everybody wants to do this. They don't understand we're killing each other just to get likes, like you said. For what? You know what I'm saying? Just because somebody like your stuff. So you telling you to sell your soul to the devil just to get some money?
Yeah.
You understand? Like that's type of time they on. And
Yeah.
they don't see the morals of what you're doing now and how it affects you when you get older. You know what I'm saying? Because when you get older, you have kids in the family, and you can't get a job because you got a felon when you're 17 bringing a gun in school or flashing a gun or whatever. Like that's not where it's at.
Or you can't even get a job just for what you posting on social media. Because now they checking your pages now. When they checking all of that now. So, you know, like I said, man, there's some good that comes with, you know, having social media, but there's a lot of bad that comes with it as well. You know, just I don't know, man.
It still boils down to accountability and the person.
Right.
If I make a lot of reckless rants and I seem unhinged, I can't blame social media for me losing my job. Perfect example is Ja Morant. Ja Morant can't blame anybody for the situation he's in except himself. Going on social media, flashing a gun again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's just the society we live in. And it's sad, but we have to take accountability for our own actions.
Why do you think Ja Morant does that though?
Because he's trying to fit into a culture that he doesn't have to fit in. He doesn't have to do that. He's not, and y'all know I listen to a lot of old school hip hop, so I'm not too familiar with a whole lot of young rappers, but I guess if I was to throw some names out there, NBA Youngboy or Future or whomever else, what they're doing, he doesn't have to do. However, because of how old he is and the culture, he feels like that's what he has to do to fit in.
Yeah.
And it's completely unnecessary. Young, doesn't have a whole lot of direction. I mean, look, if you're a multimillionaire and your mama goes in the finish line and starts an argument, I ain't gonna say start an argument, but gets into an argument with a 17-year-old employee, and then you call your multimillionaire son to come down there and straighten it. Yeah, the whole family is.
Yeah.
Right. At some point, even if the mama didn't have enough sense to not call her son, first of all, the son's a multimillionaire. Y'all got
send me
y'all
my
got
shoes
matching
to the
mansions.
house. Hell.
Why are you even in
That's
finish
what I'm saying.
line?
Yeah. What shoes you want, mama? They're gonna bring them to the house.
Right. I have a contract with Nike.
Yeah.
What you want? I got you. And then they're arguing, and then she calls him. So at some point, even if she didn't have sense enough to not get her son involved, which we all got a mama. So when you're close to your mama, the first thing you do is think about your mama. Somebody in his entourage should be like, bruh, you know what? I tell you what, I got this. But that's kind of hard because Ja is the breadwinner for everybody around him. So how do you tell somebody, bruh, don't do that? And I'm not saying anybody did or didn't, but how do you tell somebody, bruh, don't do this or don't do that, when he's the reason you popping bottles in the club?
Exactly.
He's the reason that you're living this life that you're living now off of, his hard work.
I think because he is the breadwinner, that with no common sense, they should be protecting the money. The money shouldn't be getting into no trouble.
They don't have that kind of sense. That's like when Michael Vick caught that charge. Mike Vick had no business catching that charge whatsoever.
True.
Somebody should have been
Take
like, bro,
lay on that cross for your boy.
Right. I'll fall on the sword for him. You
But
stay
let-
out
but
there,
let-
you
but
play
let-
football.
Let me tell you something. In Virginia, I live here, bruh. If you own something, your name is on that thing. You going down for it. Point blank period. Commonwealth.
But wasn't that his people? Wasn't that his
No,
people?
it was the thing was in his name. The house was in
Okay.
his name.
Okay, so how did the police even get to the house?
Somebody told.
All right, see, now we getting back to my whole point.
But this is the thing. Somebody had to tell because they might have lost the fight with their dog or whatever, or they didn't get paid. So then that's what they do.
But he was
Think
saying
about
he's saying somebody in his entourage
Yeah,
should have been like,
Yeah, that was
Somebody-
his people.
yeah,
That's me.
you don't bring that type of stuff to somebody, especially like Michael Vick. You don't bring it over to his property. You know what I mean? You could take it if you want to do it. You could take it some other place, but you do it on his property, like you said. If that's the law, then yeah, he's gonna go down for it.
And then
So
part of that is you got to watch the company you keep.
Mhm.
You got to know who's around you at all times. Because if you got somebody, I'm sure there were red flags in the beginning that showed him, hey, if my cousin get hemmed up in some shit, the whole empire gonna fall. So you got
But
to
see,
be
this
leery
all
of that.
goes back to social media and how this is. Back in the day, if you had a friend, like what real was back in the day when we was growing up compared to what real is now. If you had a friend that told you, hey, bro, you wrong on something, you could take that. You could take being wrong back in the day. Now, like you said, even with social media, you got real friends that if you blow and you stop hanging with them, first thing they do, oh, bro, fake ass nigga on social media. So that goes back to why people are trying to uphold this certain type of image. If you think about what Darius was saying, like back in the day, all we had was MySpace. MySpace, we was leaders back then. So your MySpace wasn't what everybody else was trying to do. Your MySpace defined who you were. That was a way for people to know who you were, what you represented, what you stood for, to learn more about you. Now social media is used in a whole total different way. So it's no moral or no standard. A person could be dead ass wrong, but they'll use social media to paint a picture that they write. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So he's a breadwinner and having friends and everything, even if he tell them, they can't tell him no. Because if they do, they're gonna go to social media and present whatever fake narrative they want. That's what social media is now. It's a fake platform to be able to be right, be correct, be whatever you want to be. And that's where we go. That's why I say it goes back to morals, y'all. If it's static, its own principles and its own morals, your friend, your true friend, the person that's riding with you on social media should be able to tell you, hey, bro, you don't need to do that. And you could take that, or y'all can fight without the cameras. But with the cameras being on and with everybody trying to have an image and be the man, it's hard because nobody even know that people don't know who the hell they are, let alone who's around them. So it's just a different type of time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's very true. But I live by this ABCs, avoid bad company. Because if I feel like your vibe ain't right, hey, you bad company, I gotta go. You know what I'm saying? If I go to a spot, I go to somebody's house barbecue, it could be Darius and his people. And if I got a bad vibe, bro, I gotta go. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Ain't nothing wrong against you, but I gotta go with my instinct because that's how stuff happens. And like you said, social media and people being, you use that like MySpace. We had MySpace? What was the other one we used to have, Darius?
we had MySpace is really the first.
Yeah, MySpace was
Yeah.
heavy.
Then what was after MySpace?
Facebook came right after that in 2004.
Black Planet and all of that.
Black
Yeah,
Planet.
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm gonna
Yeah.
say. That's what I'm gonna say. Black Planet. Yeah, that's what it was. Black Planet.
I remember Black Planet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, come on, man.
Well, we just don't be so influenced by social media that you gotta follow trends, man. It's okay to be different. Use your platform to be different and everything. So what, you don't get the views and the likes that you want that other people to get. At least You know who you are. Just, continue to grow as a person, and, don't follow what everybody doing. If you want to do some dance challenges, cool. But all that other stuff, man, you ain't got to do that. Just continue to be yourself and you'll be good. Definitely be good. All right. So listen, I want to talk about this too. So Sherman, I know I mentioned this to you. So Tennessee has this law called the third grade retention law. All right.
Mhm.
Kat, you heard about that?
No, I never heard about that.
All right. So the third grade retention law is basically this. Third graders who don't test at a proficient level will have to it's basically TCAP. You remember back in the day we had to do
Yeah.
TCAP?
Right.
So the reading portion of TCAP. So if they don't test at a proficient level, which basically means if they don't meet or exceed expectations, they'll have to retake that reading test again. And if they don't pass that again, they will have to go to summer camp and have like a 90% 90% what's that? Well, they have to be there 90% of the time. And or you could advance to the fourth grade, but you have to get tutoring in the fourth grade. So I'm looking at this right now. They said over 25,000 Tennessee third graders had to retake the test the first time. Now I don't know what it is after that. I don't know how many kids are going to summer camp or anything like that. Just from experience, my daughter, she was recently in the third grade. This law pretty much affected her. She took the test the first time, the TCAP test, and of course we got an email saying that she had to retake it, and she took it again, basically passed it and everything like that. But it's been a lot of conversation about this particular law, why they're targeting third graders with this law, and basically they're thinking that it's not right in a way. So I'm gonna start with Ron with this. What do you think about this particular law, and do you think they should do away with it, or should they keep it? Should they make some modifications with the law? What do you think they should do?
It seems like odd timing once again, because you think about it, if you're in the third grade now, that means when we went into COVID, you
They were
were kindergarten.
kindergartners.
You were in kindergarten.
They missed half their kindergarten year.
Yeah, so some missed the whole kindergarten year because they chose to continue to have their children schooled at home. So kindergarten is like the first kindergarten. If you don't go to like pre-K or daycare or anything like that, kindergarten is really where you start learning.
Mhm.
So how are you going to spring that now when a lot of these children really didn't, just like they're starting behind the eight ball because they were already being homeschooled in kindergarten? And I'm looking at TennesseeChalkBee.org, and State Representative Scott Sapicki said that there would be more retained if we didn't pass this bill. How? So I'm taking it to, if I'm understanding this right, regardless of what your grade is in reading, you have to meet certain qualifications on a reading test.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And if you don't meet these qualifications, you go to summer school, or you have to be tutored by a state-funded agency.
Yeah.
Which may be a situation to where we got some budget money we have to spend. Because if you don't spend that budget money, you don't get that budget money next year, excuse me. So that might be part of what's driving the narrative. And why is this all of a sudden?
Yeah.
It seems kind of odd to me. I mean, is it to hold our teachers accountable? I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because we've seen time and time again students, especially student athletes, they get propelled just because they're excelling on the field or on the court and couldn't recite the ABCs with a pistol to their head. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It just seems like it could be tweaked and executed a little better.
Mhm.
I think with this particular law, I mean, I agree with everything that you're saying. I personally think that the test itself, you shouldn't base let me say, they shouldn't be promoted or whatever this situation is because of a test, a TCAP test, that nobody is in elementary school, by the way. We
Yeah.
take TCAP tests all the time. I remember we took TCAP tests, from first grade all the way through fifth grade when I was in school. Now they starting in, I think in our school system, they start third grade. So I think this is the first year they start taking TCAP. And even with their grades, right, they can have an A or B in it, but in reading, A or B in reading, but because of a TCAP test, they'll have to get extra tutoring or, go to summer camp because they're not proficient enough in a subject. I thought that's why, they get grades sent home. They, whatever the case may be. I'm not understanding this particular law in place. I personally think this. I might be wrong. Y'all could, chime in, whatever. I think in this particular state, I think they're trying to do everything they can to move the money from public schools and give it to their friends who start these charter schools. That's what I'm thinking. So they trying to figure out ways to, show that the public school system is not doing its job. So therefore they can't get the funding that they want, and they're gonna take that and give it to their friends who's trying to start charter schools here in the
I
state.
feel like they need to refocus on how to educate the kids that are in public school. Like you put almost 30 kids now to a classroom, and then you expecting all 30 kids to learn the exact same way. That's impossible.
Well, you got to keep in mind that your schools are supported by property taxes.
Yeah.
So if you are I'll put it this way, they're building a new high school out in Bellevue. The high school is beautiful. It looks like a small college campus. And you would never see, unfortunately, anything like that in North Nashville. Maplewood's a nice school, but it's not going to look like that. Whites Creek is not going to look like that. Pearl Cone is not going to look like that. So the system is automatically designed to keep certain neighborhoods or certain schools right where they are.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All that falls back on funding. And now, like what Darius is saying, now you got a rich friend that wants to throw up a charter school. Well, Pearl Cone is failing. We got 30 students to one teacher, but my friend could throw up a charter school here, and that's going to change everything. That's going to make everything better. And let's shut Pearl Cone down.
Yeah, so they try to do that here in Clarksville. That's why, all of this stuff was like, we're seeing it, right? We're seeing it. A lot of people not paying attention to it. And I'm not understanding. They're basically telling you to your face, this is what we're trying to do. And yeah, you're just turning the blind eye like, oh, well. You know what I mean? So I'm not really understanding that part either. But back to you were saying about the schools and everything. I live off of Exit 8. We're going to have two schools right off of Exit 8. Got Rossview, and then they're going to have Kirkwood on both sides of Exit 8.
Really?
Yep. The
Wow.
middle school's already open. They've been open. I think this is their first year open. I think the high school is going to be open, if I'm not mistaken, this fall or the following fall. So, and that's that part of Exit 8, that's where pretty much where the rich people are. The big houses and all that stuff is down that way. So we're seeing the growth everywhere. We're seeing where the money is going to be spent in terms of, you know, the nicer schools, the nicer facilities and everything like that. But to Capri's point, you know, there's a lot of kids, you know, in one class, but also we got to take into account there's a lot of teachers leaving the profession as well. You know, you got a lot of them leaving within their first 5 years, kind of like a business. You know, their first 5 years, they were in it, and then all of a sudden you start seeing them, you know, going off doing other things. So it's a lot. It's a lot of variables that go into place when it comes to the education, especially, you know, with this particular law and other laws as well. But I guess it's just a, you know, there's a good thing, is also a bad thing, but I think they're trying to make it to where they want to defund the public school system and give it to their friends and, you know, stuff like that with the charter schools. So
So you
that's,
know how
that's my opinion.
every school zone has like a low income neighborhood in it? Where is
Yeah.
Kirkwood?
Kirkwood, okay. So if you know, all right, say you coming from, I'm trying to think. Let's say you're coming from exit 11 to exit 8. When you get off at exit 8, you're gonna make that right. So it's gonna be when you drive past that church. What's that one church? Was it Life Point? That big
Yeah.
church? Yeah. So it's
Something
just
like that.
yeah, so it's just right past that church.
So
I
I
forgot
wonder,
that.
are they gonna have Guthrie?
I think everything on that side, I think they will have. So I think Guthrie will be attending that school. I think Sango, that part of exit 8, and I think Guthrie and all of that. I think they all gonna be attending that school.
Okay.
So
Okay. That is too close. That's too
Yeah,
close.
yeah. Is there a necessity for there to be a high school or another school, public school campus right up the street from Rossfield?
I had said the same thing, because right before that big field right across from Hancock, they about to build a brand new shopping center right there. So it's a lot going on in this area, to where it's too much going on at one time. Let's put it that way. It's a lot going on at one time, and I don't really understand why they will put another school complex, like 2 minutes down the street from right here. But I guess they trying to, you know, divide up the students somehow, some way. I guess they overcrowded. So they're putting up mobile classrooms at Rossfield Elementary. And I know
Well,
they're putting up some.
Rossfield's not overcrowded though. I think it's only like, my daughter just graduated from Rossfield. I guess statistically at the 15-to-1 ratio, Rossfield is overcrowded because it's 20-to-1. But you don't think of 5 more students as being overcrowded. You think of like double the amount of students as
Exactly.
being overcrowded.
Well, I don't know too much about the high school. I don't think I know about the elementary school. So they got the mobile classrooms they had to put up this past year. So that's the only thing I know about that part of Rossview. But they are, like I said, the high school will be up, I think, this fall or next fall. And then right after that, they're going to do the elementary school. So
sounding right.
And not only that, but I think that's all of that's through the county commission. So that's not city council, because that's the county out there.
That is the
They're
county.
not. Yeah, that's they outside of the city limits.
Rossfield is outside of city limits?
No, Kirkwood is.
Oh,
Kirkwood.
Kirkwood is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's right, because y'all want Metro down there. I keep forgetting Clarksville want Metro. My bad. I apologize.
Well, that's what it is. That's why I just want to get y'all opinion on it. Sherman, you got any opinions about that?
I got a lot to say about that. I mean, because at the end of the day, number one, teachers got to be more hands-on with the ones that need help with reading. They if they need to go to tutoring after school, help them one-on-one, talk to their parents, you know what I'm saying, about testing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm very big on read one, teach one. You understand? I mean, if you gotta get a tutor, if you just don't understand, say something instead of trying to be that cool cat, you know what I'm saying? It's on social media, doing this and that, and can't even read a menu. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the disconnection comes from because everybody wants to be cool instead of just doing what you need to do. Because at the end of the day, bro, when you leave high school, have people you talk to, your best friend, your buddy, your who rock, y'all gonna fall apart. Y'all go to different states, y'all go, stuff happens. You may graduate that day and die the next day. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you gotta do what's best for you. And you know what I'm saying? And the parents got to be more involved instead of giving these kids just tablets when they get home or go outside. Well, they don't go outside no more, but on the tablet, on the games, and Call of Duty and all this other stuff. Instead of 30 minutes a night, you're gonna read a book. You're gonna read to me. And so if you understand the word, then I'm gonna teach you the word and I'm make you look it up in the dictionary so you understand what it is. That's how I was brought up. You understand? So education is very important. It's very important. Nowadays, you're gonna need an education, at least a high school diploma to even get a job. You know what I'm saying? So if you can't read, how you gonna get your driver's license? You know what I'm saying? So that's where all that reach one, teach one comes into place because there's plenty of help out there, but people don't want to be labeled. And that's the issue that we're having right now with social media, being labeled. Oh, he's a labeled retarded because he can't read this. He's not retarded, he just don't understand on your level. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the type of stuff that gets under my skin because everybody learns different. You know what I'm saying? You could be a twin like Dorian and Dre. Dorian and Dre, two totally different opposites of people.
Sure, you ain't lying.
You get what I'm saying? I can play basketball with all three of y'all. I know. You get what I'm saying? So it's one of them. You know what I mean?
Something to piggyback off what he said, like, darn, I should have cut him off because I forgot my thought. But dang, what was I gonna say? He mentioned something. Go ahead. It'll come back.
Well, I know this, right? I know with my daughter's school, they send out letters like everything that have going on that week. So we get a weekly newsletter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would tell you this, like they have stuff, like you said, when it comes to reading, they have book fairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you see that, be like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna take my child to this book fair. The books are not expensive at all. They got all different types of books, stuff in there, all different grade levels, different grade levels as well.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they got some art stuff, so they could, draw and, do all the creative stuff as well. But, that's something I think parents probably don't have to get more involved in, be more involved in the kids' education.
Just about to say that these parents are different, bro. These parents are completely different. Parents don't go to parent-teacher conferences like they used to. They're not involved in. They're expecting. Look how many parents got mad because school. They had to, their student or their children had to stay home during COVID. We need to open schools back up. Why? So they could babysit your kid? You don't want to be bothered with your own child?
I'm gonna interrupt you on that one. I'm glad COVID did happen. And the reason why I say that is you really figure out who's who. And I mean to say this, who's your wife? Who are your kids? What have you been doing? Now I'm in the house with you 24/7. Oh, you don't clean your room. Oh, you talk back to your mother. Because when I'm gone, 8, 9, 10 hours a day, I come home, I debrief for a couple minutes or whatever, do what I gotta do, then I go see what's going on with the situation. But now that you home, you see that they doing this, they tearing up this, your wife doing this, she ain't, you know what I'm saying? So you see everything. So it's a blessing in disguise to COVID because at the end of the day, you need to spend time with your family.
It was a blessing to you. It was a blessing to you, and it was a blessing to people who are like-minded. Again, you got a lot of parents that they didn't care if their child went to school
Got
and
sick.
died.
Yeah.
Like this
Say back
COVID
to
out, COVID out here killing people, but you want your child to be in school because you don't want to be bothered with your
Right.
And then on
child.
the back end of that, it was a lot of low income families who some parents were sending their kids to school, and that was the only time they ate.
That's real.
True, that's real.
And yeah, so they hit different. But okay, I remember what I was gonna say. Everybody ain't made for college, so it's like we need to even teach the kids during school, like vocational jobs or trades or something. Get it under their belt so that they can go out and do the jobs that this tech world doesn't want to do, like plumbing, welding, carpentry work, stuff like that. Like everybody just ain't built for a 4-year college.
And that's one of the things I was telling my daughter. Like, if college ain't for everybody, you ain't got to go to college, but you got to do something. I know people. I know a couple of guys that are millionaires right now, never stepped foot in the college. But you got to know something. And we're not, again, social media driven society where everybody wants to get rich quick. So they're not playing the long game. They don't realize that you could be a millionaire next door and own a barbershop, or own a beauty salon, or own a garage and make just as much money as the same guy you see that's a social media influencer. Or I know a couple of people that own garages, they make just as much as doctors. Why? Because they put that work in.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so people, like you was, to piggyback on what you were saying about welders and, trades, they're not pushing that anymore.
No, they stopped that a long time ago. And when you say about trades and all that other stuff, like you said, millionaires. You got millionaires around here all day, every day. But at the end of the day, I guarantee you, the millionaires had a mentor. You understand? You have to have a mentor. You have to have somebody to guide you. You have to have somebody to tell you something. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was gonna say. We just gotta teach this generation.
That's the problem.
Teachable and coachable.
Right, coachable. Like, I mean, I coach JV high school basketball, and you got some kids is coachable, and you got some kids you can't do nothing with them.
You can't tell them
But
nothing.
they the most talented ones. But if I tell him to go left, that fool gonna go right. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, I just told you, if you go left, it's wide open.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
so
So it's one of them.
yeah, like to piggyback what you were saying, how COVID was, sometimes can be a blessing in disguise. Everybody didn't think like that, but one thing I can say from my personal experience, my daughter, she did virtual school all first grade year, right? But here's the thing I do know. I know for a fact what she was learning. I knew what would need to be turned in. I knew, basically, let's put it this way: she couldn't get away with nothing, and I was there. She knew what time to log in, because that's when they all got laptops that year.
Mhm.
All the students got laptops that year. So she logged in. She did her work. Actually, I really liked it because she could actually turn in her work online. It was no paper copies and nothing. So I know for a fact that, yeah, I know you did this. I know what your grades are. This is what we need to work on. And to Capri's point, when it comes to like, hey, students need to, not students, but parents need to get more involved, going to parent-teacher conferences and all that stuff. Guess what? They do parent-teacher conferences now on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no way that you shouldn't be involved in your kids' education, especially now the way the technology is. We have Class Dojo. I know my daughter's teacher, or some of her teachers in the past, done sent messages letting us know what's about to happen. We know about the test that's coming up. We know about the quizzes they're about to take. We know about the assignments that's due and everything like that. Like the Power School, I know what all her grades are. I know everything that's happening. I know if she missed this work, I asked her, hey, why is this work not turned in? I know all of that because it's right there at the palm of my hand. So, I'm not really if parents don't really want to be involved, you're really setting your kid up for failure in the long run. And you can't always blame the teachers because the teachers already have a hard enough job as is. But you could be, that second teacher, right? Just making sure that they just do their homework, study for a quiz, study for a test, right? And all you can do is just like, hey, I know you put in this work. And, if you need a little bit more help, those grades will let us know that, all right, what can we do to get some more help? Or you can always message your teacher like, hey, can my child get some personal time, some one-on-one tutoring? Or you could go up to the school, ask for stuff like that. I mean, it's right there. It's really easier now, more so than when we were coming up, because we used to hide our report cards if we got bad grades. Now you
And that
can't
didn't
even
work
hide.
with me. That didn't work with my dad. He knew exactly what that report card came out. That didn't happen.
But now you can check on your phone, like, I already know what your grades are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So when they send out report cards, I'm like, I already know because it was right there. So I just say just start paying attention to what your kids are doing when it comes to education and everything like that, because it's right there in your face. It's easy to know what's going on. And and your teacher's gonna be in contact with you. You know what I mean? Because like I said, just that one message you get, whether it's email or like I said, they use Class Dojo. So you have that straight communication with the teacher and everything like that. I think they got another app too they use, just depending on the teacher, but it's right there. And me and my wife, we already know this is your homework. You got your Monday homework, Tuesday homework, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So you pretty much got a whole week that you come home with. So we know what the task at hand is, and we make sure it gets it done. And as a parent, that's your job as a parent to your child to make sure they get their stuff done. And just encourage them to try their best. I think a lot of times you got a lot of kids that put so much pressure on them to where they fold under their pressure. That's what I think. I think they should just, help them out and also tell them, hey, just do your best. And, if you got to try again, just got to try again.
You gotta be their biggest fan. That's how I look at it.
But how
Be
many
their biggest
parents do
fan.
that? How many parents are actually involved? See, you're involved. You're a great example of, being there and championing your child and being their biggest encourager. How many parents are actually involved in the lives of their children?
Not many.
It's not like it used to be.
The next question too is how were the parents raised too? You understand? Because if their parents wasn't really in their life, it's a domino effect. You know what I'm saying? If your dad didn't say, hey, you did a good job on that project, or hey, you know what I'm saying, you did a good job at the basketball game, you lost, you still, you know what I'm saying, encourage you, because that's sometimes a kid needs that encouragement. They may not be the best at anything, but as long as you keep rooting for them and getting it, that's what's going to change people's lives. You understand? Because somebody could be having a bad day, and I can walk with you like, hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? That hey, how you doing change your whole day.
It can.
You get what I'm saying? It's simple stuff that people don't realize, holding the door open for somebody. You know what I'm saying? You just never know what people going through and walks of life. Mental health is real. You get what I'm saying? Kids have mental health issues at a young age, but then we look over it because nobody kid want to be labeled. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I mean? It's one of them.
It's when I was coming up, mental health was more of a taboo issue, especially being a Black man. You be all right. Yeah, that's it. Man up, toughen up, go back to work. So I mean, when you tell the same lie over and over, it becomes your truth. When you're told the same lie over and over, it becomes your reality. When that reality is spread around, it becomes a culture. And then when that culture is passed down, it becomes tradition. So my father isn't teaching me, or my father can only pour into me what was poured into him. So it's you're right. You're absolutely right. Mental health is real, but who do you turn to? Which now it's becoming not as taboo as it was, but it's still to a certain degree taboo among certain circles.
Mhm.
You know what
I
I mean?
definitely think it takes a village. And to even listening to what y'all saying, but applying it to me, I come from a single family household or whatever, and it was like I didn't get everything I needed at home, but my mom was one of them do as I say, not as I do parents. So it was nothing for her to throw me on the church van, and I had to go to church, but that was like my third teacher. There, I learned my culture. I learned Black history because they definitely wasn't teaching it in school. So
Right.
between vacation Bible schools and all of that, that's where I got my Black history from. Now, within that, like the village consisted of people within the church. And so I don't know if y'all remember Coach Jackson. I think he taught at Kenwood, but
Kenwood Middle School. Yep. I remember him.
Coach Jackson stayed on my neck because he was the superintendent of Sunday school and he made me the secretary. So I had to enunciate, I had to speak boldly, I had to talk clear. And that like grew me in today. So it's not a crowd I can't stand in front of and talk. And I'm gonna run this mouth and I'm gonna say it eloquently. And I just hear Coach Jackson in the back of my head. He might have been hard on his students, but like he was hard on us too at church. But it's like now I understand why.
But do
And
villages?
me not having that male influence
sorry.
in my life, not as like strong as he was, like it really helped.
But do villages still exist in today's
No.
society?
No.
Oh,
I
no.
don't think so because
No.
I mean, and apparently I'm the OG of this podcast. You know, if y'all keep living, y'all gonna get old too. But when I was coming up, I do something up the street, my friend's mama gonna whoop me.
Oh,
Yes,
I grew
Lord.
up
You
that
feel
way
me?
too. You
And
got
so-
3-4 whippings before you got to your house.
Right. And
Yeah,
by
I
the
got that
time you
whooping
got
too.
by the time you got home, the phone rang. So that's another one. But see that's that village, you know. That and we don't have that village anymore. A lot of communities aren't that village where they're that concerned about. They're more concerned about if they're concerned about their own child. They're more concerned about their own child than the kids that are out in the street. I remember when I was walking up the street, school was out. I was walking up the street and one of my neighbors' mothers told me, "Hey, school is out." I didn't know because I didn't get up and watch Snowbird that morning. I just got up and got dressed and started walking up the street, to the bus stop. So, I mean, parents don't look out for the children in their village like they used to. We don't have that bond anymore.
Right.
Yeah, and I agree with you to some extent on that, but I was raised with a military family. Darius know my dad, you know what I'm saying, and his motto was "You'll be all right," you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. He didn't believe going to doctors and all that other stuff until he passed out, blood pressure. You know what I'm saying. So he was brought, hey, just take some Tylenol, lay down, you fine. And nowadays kids are doing the same thing. We're killing ourselves every day. We're not going to the hospital or not getting checked out. You know what I'm saying? Oh boy, go lay down. You know what I'm saying? Whoop, whoop. Like you got, if something wrong, go check it out. You know what I'm saying? And that's, man, it's a lot of deaths young because of that. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, if it's a village, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? If I'm not able to take my kids to the doctor, can you have my neighbor drop them off and look out for them until I get home? Like you don't have that no more. You throw them in daycare. Now daycares, you gotta be careful because they're abusing kids in daycare. And I'm be honest with you, somebody abuse my kid in daycare, bro, it's over with.
Going down.
You can have my listen, you gonna have to get my bond money the best lawyer you can get because I'm about to you gonna have to see me. There's no way around that because that child is innocent. You understand what I'm saying? That child's completely innocent. So the abuse and stuff, there's no talking to me about that. I don't care who you are. You get what I'm saying? That's just what it is. But like as you said, a village, there's no more villages.
So when you see videos of, and I know we kind of veered off subject a little bit, but when you see videos of high school students and they and teachers are, we're going to say, defending themselves against a high school being, from an attack from a high school student. How does that make you feel?
It makes me. Oh, go ahead, Sherm. I'll let you go first.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and I may be wrong, but if you raise the right way, that's not gonna happen. Because I know dang well.
Keyword is this.
I know. I know dang well if I hit an adult or if I hit anybody, you expect to get hit back. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, I was always taught to respect your elders. You may not like what your elders are telling you. You know what I'm saying? It may be hard on you, but you gotta understand, you gotta respect them because they're telling you this for a reason. Now you want to be bold and get up and hit teachers and think that stuff's cool. You gotta the repercussions of that may not be too well. But see, then now once you do that, you're getting your parents involved. You get what I'm saying? Because now that's either a lawsuit or you going to jail. You know what I'm saying? Now your parents gotta try to get you out of there because you want to be big and bad. For what? For what?
And that's something that we see more often now than anything else. We seeing more student teacher fights than anything else. And it's kind of like you hate to see it. You hate to see it. And usually, the videos I've seen that went viral is usually the student attacking the teacher. And I always ask myself, like, do you get away with this at home in a sense? That where you can feel like
parenting.
I mean, like if you feel comfortable to go up to an adult and start a fight with them, something ain't right. Because teachers are fighting back as they should because they're protecting themselves. And and I just think that, well, I don't know what the punishment is. Somebody could tell me like what the punishment is for these kids, with a situation like that. I don't know. Like, are they expelled? Like, are they expelled?
I think they expelled for the remainder of the school year or something like that.
As they should be.
They expel you.
What about the teacher? What about the teacher?
No.
Because
so up here we had a high school basketball game. They got to fighting or whatever. And it was, racial thing, and the guy punched him, knocked him unconscious or whatever. But because he was 17, they couldn't press charges. You know what I'm saying? But if he's 18, they can press charges through the state.
Wow.
But you hear of instances where teenagers as young as 14, 13 being charged as adults
with murder
in certain states.
For certain
states.
Drug charges. Don't let it be a drug charge.
That must be a Virginia thing.
Oh yeah, it's a Virginia thing, man. Trust me, Virginia. Listen,
Virginia is a commonwealth.
Yeah,
it's Commonwealth. You know that
a commonwealth where wealth ain't common. It's just like that in Kentucky.
Hey, listen, you hit it right on the head because they think everybody in Virginia millionaires. It ain't nothing like that. They got so many freaking laws. You make your head spin. Like I put it like this: Virginia so much of a commonwealth state. They make you register your dog, like give a dog a damn driver's license, and you had to pay property taxes on it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
This
that's
is
Commonwealth.
This is new to me.
For you.
That's about as bad as Kentucky. Like, in Tennessee, you pay you pay for your tags and pay for your taxes. No matter what you drive in the state of Tennessee, the price of your tags is gonna be the same, regardless. Kentucky is different. You pay for it's classes of cars. And whether your car is running or not, you still have to pay taxes on that car every year. Your RV, your boat, pretty much anything you own in the state of Kentucky, you're paying taxes on it.
Learning something new every day.
Man,
it's a lot. It's a lot of laws out here, man. It's a lot.
Now to go back to that parenting, I feel like I grew up in a generation where they didn't. I know y'all were saying like when it comes to old elders or whatever, you just respect your elders. We didn't ask why. You probably got hit a couple of more times for asking why. You just had to understand what they were saying, and eventually, the lesson will unfold as you grow older. But now, like with the gentle parenting and all these other parenting styles, they do more explaining to their child. And I think it bothers me. Not saying gentle parenting don't work in somebody else's household. It don't work in mine. But it's like you have to do so much explaining as to why you have to do, why I said do it this way, so on and so forth. But it's like, I need you to get the message now, because there's so many other things that you're gonna have to learn along the way.
Well,
Just know
parenting is different.
We gotta ask B first, then we
I
got
was
the
just about
explanation.
to say, parenting is different. I was just telling my wife a couple of weeks ago, I never got into Hot Wheels because I would see my cousins get the
PTSD.
brakes beat off of them with a Hot Wheels track. So what I'm not gonna do is give my mama another weapon.
Give her another weapon.
Right.
Give her another, choose your weapon.
Yeah, you're not gonna add this into your arsenal to use against me.
Yeah.
Right.
But parenting was different. I wish I would have called the police on my mama talking about she whooped me, or my dad
I
talking
know
about
I
they
had a
whooped me.
case. Look, let Clarksville, Montgomery County pick that case up. I was gonna get
Listen,
that. You hear me?
listen, switch. Go get that switch off the tree. Wait, go get
What
that
kind of
switch.
that's psychological welfare right there.
Man,
I mean,
Yes.
psychological warfare. You go out
Mhm.
there and you pick what
Pick your
I'm gonna
weapon.
beat you with.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
and
how
you
we
don't
grew
come,
up,
if
though.
you
That's
don't
what I'm
come back
saying.
in the house with half the tree, you got to go back out there again.
Yeah.
How am I gonna
And
go out
then-
here
and then
and
don't
choose,
get
choose
the
the weapon
thin
against
switch.
me?
Don't get
Yeah.
the thin switch. That hurt the worst.
No,
My
they
mama
take
made
two.
track stars.
But
We
so
running.
they take 2 or 3 of them thin ones and braid them together.
Together,
Don't
yep.
come back in there with that thin one. Go get another one.
Man, listen,
Son.
my grandma stopped doing the switch. She started using extension cord. So you already know.
Man, first
cut
time
it
I saw
off.
a kid get whooped with an extension cord. I was in Lincoln Homes, and there was some young cousins of mine, and I don't know what they did. We were getting ready to go to a concert at the Dunn Center, so this was a long time ago, because I don't know the last time they had a concert at the Dunn Center. But my young cousins, they were getting whooped with extension cords and Hot Wheel tracks. One of them was getting whooped with the garden hose.
Oh man.
There was no limit back then. There was no limit back then. Now you can call the police if you get a whooping. Your child.
You talk about the Hot Wheels track. My mama whooped me one time with my baby doll. Talking about I ain't never play with that baby doll again.
Right, that would have been the last time that baby doll would
I
have
get that baby
existed.
doll out. You can have that baby doll.
Right. Penelope going dead in the trash. This will be the last time you see Penelope.
I tell you.
Oh shit.
I'm not bringing up my experience in this. I'm gonna let y'all have it.
Well, we're not trying to bring up any childhood trauma for you.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah,
Start having
look, we can
flashbacks
laugh
and
now.
But I would say
We can-
this.
hey, we
I
can laugh
would-
now for sure.
I would say this. My brother Dorn got the most whoopings out of all 3 of us.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, I know your mom and your dad, so I could imagine.
Especially Dorian.
So,
I already knew
I
Dorian.
could
Dorian was
imagine with
change.
y'all.
yeah, he
But
was
it
the
ma-
one, and we felt it too. We in the
But-
other room, and we still felt it. So
But it made us better. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't kill us.
no,
Apparently, it made us better. First
Now
time
they-
the first time I went to whoop my middle daughter, she was like 6, 7 years old at the time. First time I went to whoop her, I was at my mama's house, and I locked the door because I already knew what was going to happen. So I'm about 6, 7 good licks in. It's a knock at the door, and it's my mama. She came in, led my daughter out by the hand. My daughter turned around and looked at me like this, and walked on out.
Yeah.
So grandparents don't even let you. And I had to have a talk with my mama after that. Like,
Yeah.
you used to beat the brakes off of me. And
I
I'm
was only on 7.
Yeah, and I'm okay. You don't. Well, it's different. How is it different? So it's okay for her to do what I wasn't allowed to get away with?
Right.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's different. It's
Or get a
different.
whooping where you can't
You
even
feel
sit down
bad?
at
He was pissed off
school.
about it. He said, "Fuck out of here."
I know somebody had a whooping like I did. I had a whooping so bad I couldn't even sit down in school. But I was over here leaning like this, like, ooh, trying to tell you.
Ooh. And my mama used to put me
Listen,
in the tub after I got a whooping.
Wee.
nah, that's the worst.
Nah, they get you
Imagine.
after you get out the tub.
No, I got whooped. I got whooped before.
But,
Oh,
but did
okay.
y'all have to get naked or y'all get to keep y'all clothes on? I had
Man,
to
it all
get naked.
man. I mean, hey, you hear
Oh,
that
you got the
bathwater
worst
running,
one. You
you
good.
already know
I
All
get
the
that
way
to you.
naked.
You coming
I
out
get
of
that to
all
you.
that? You coming
Everything,
out of all
ain't no
that
choice.
on your
Get
way to
naked.
the tub.
If you turn your dick, you hit.
You got right.
Damn.
Don't turn. Yeah,
Hey,
completely naked.
hey,
You get striped
hey, I
up.
know you was grabbing that belt. I know you was.
Man, and
Oh, you
count
tried
me.
to.
Hey, listen, I didn't try to grab the belt. My days used to hold my hands behind my back. I used to fight. I didn't hit under the bed. I'm trying to tell you.
Try to go to bed early so my mama will forget. She'll get off work and still come home and whoop me. Ain't
Or
forget
put
nothing.
extra clothes on.
But see,
Yeah.
that's
Put extra clothes
right. Put on
so
a
she
couple
whoop you.
extra pair of shorts up under your sweats.
Yeah.
That's why you getting a whooping on your way to the tub. You hear that bath water running?
Yeah.
You know what it is. You getting
Yeah.
striped
But do
up
they
on your way
still
to the
paddle in
tub.
school?
Think so.
They don't
No.
paddle in no more, do
And
they?
that's another
Some
thing.
some do. Some do it,
but
not all of them.
not like it used to be. So see, society is not allowing us. Well, y'all, because I got grandkids. Society is not allowing us to raise children like they used to, like we were raised.
But y'all gotta think,
Right.
even in the Army, it's to a point now where you go to basic training, you can put up a card and say they're yelling at you too tough. They gotta stop yelling at you. So you gotta think about all across the board, even civilians, all the way even to military, disciplinary action is way different than what we was used to before and compared to now. How are we at the toughest generation and all these kids think they grown, but if you yell at them too loud, you hurt my feelings or you scaring me.
Really?
So, you got to pick and choose. You want to be
Yep.
tough, you want to be an adult,
Yep.
but you don't
You can
want
hold
to take adult responsibility.
So you can hold a card up like a soccer referee that initiates you're being yelled at too much.
Yeah, that's the new way. Basic training now, it's called a stress card. If you hold up that red card, that stress card, it's a wrap. No cap. No
Fuck
cap.
outta
Hey,
here.
see, I ain't never heard of that.
Yeah, look it up. That's a
Boy,
real thing, a stress
listen.
card at basic training. And the basic training is where they teach you how to be the best soldier and prepare you for not
Right.
just discipline, but
Right,
prepare you for
right.
possible war.
Right.
You
Now
can't
I
hold up
was
no stress card for no bullet. But
No,
that's
you
what they
sure
teaching our
can't.
kids now. Yeah, stress card.
I'm done. I am
I'm,
done.
I'm
That's
sorry.
crazy. That's
Just
crazy.
just imagine somebody on the
For real, man,
battlefield
for
with
real.
a running with an AR-15, bullets flying
I'm
over, they
so
hold up a
stressed.
card.
Come on, these bullets are stressing me
Right.
out.
Oh, stop, time out. Time out. No, that's not how that works.
I was not ready for this. Send me back.
Man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man,
Well-
it's a different world, man. It's a total different world.
I mean, but you still expect, I'm from Clarksville originally, so military town. You still expect the military to hold. If everything else changes, you don't expect the military to.
Yeah.
So they trying to keep up with today's society on how to, discipline and talk and like that doesn't even make sense to me though. Like
It don't.
But that's across the board. That's with everything. You got to think about gay marriage and things like that. It was in the beginning of the military, it was don't ask, don't tell. Now gays can get married in the Army. Everything is changing based on what the world is doing. That's what I say. It's no more. They took God out of everything and they've implemented a new world order, whatever they want to do. Because you got to think, not just the military, but a lot of jobs and everything else followed the structure of what the government or the military was doing. Now we're in a world where everybody can just do whatever they want. It's like, hell, you just pick what you want to do, and let's just go with that. So now you can get two males to get married in the Army now. It was a time where even if you had two males getting married, that you couldn't get, both benefits. In the Army, you got the male and female, but you would get both benefits because it's male and female. Now, two homeboys can get married and you get two sets of benefits. Where it used to be, don't ask, don't tell. If you was gay in the Army, you could never tell nobody. But now it's like gays get married in the Army. So everything's changed. So where is the standard? So that's why I think we run into a lot of our problems. When we talk about whoopings, we talk about social media, we talk about kids. All of it is based on what the world is. And I feel like the lack of God and no more being in anything changes the demographic of how our world looks.
So do y'all think we live in a society that's too sensitive?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was watching, and I know we're completely off subject, but I was watching Smokey and the Bandit like 2 weeks ago. And there was so many off-color jokes in there in that whole movie that I was like, there is no way that movie could be made today with the same script. No
like
way.
Real talk. There was a group that was trying to get the movie Grease banned.
Wow.
For what?
Well, what the pink ladies do?
The greasers.
Like I'm telling you, like I'm not understanding. Like you want to go back and rewrite history instead of letting history be what history is. You want to go back and trying to do like that one. It was, I guess it was a group where they was trying to get what's that one song? Was it a Aretha Franklin song? Was it Natural Woman?
Natural Woman. I heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
that's it.
they was trying to get that banned because it was talking just about natural women, I guess, and I guess it was affecting, other people. I'm like seriously, next thing you know, you're gonna start banning the Lion King because Simba's dad got killed by his own brother. Like, come on now, just stop it. It's in the past, let it go. Shut the hell up.
Well, people are up in arms because the Little Mermaid is black now.
Yeah, all that.
And that was a good movie, low key.
The remake.
I ain't gonna sit down and hold you. That joint was okay. I took my son. I ain't gonna sit there and hold you. That joint, the Black Mermaid, she did her thing with that one. I like that.
We had to go support that just
Yeah, my wife and my daughter went to go see that. They had a girls' night, and they told me the movie was good. So I'll catch it when it come on Disney Plus, and I'll sit down and watch it.
Like that. I ain't gonna sit down and lie to you. Like the musical is a lot better. You know what I'm saying? It's more showing Ariel. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when the first Mermaid came out, but it's better. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot better. Sebastian's funnier.
They stayed true to the story pretty much.
Somewhat. You know what I'm saying? It has a better ending than, the story. So.
I seen where Haley had posted, she took her granddad to go see it, and she was like, in his lifetime, he watched his father pick cotton, but now he's seeing his granddaughter on the big screen. And I was like, I'm sure that's
on social media.
Yeah.
It's on Instagram, and she started crying. Yeah, I seen that.
But people are up in arms because a fictional character changed color.
Representation matters, bro.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the same thing. But they complain about racism being alive, but it's a lot of the parents setting the example for their children. Like, Mom, why are you mad about it? Because she's black. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's like we complain about certain things, but we set that. We bring that about with the way we act and carry ourselves and put it on social media. So then when we like, why is all this racism in the world? It's just like when the moment is able and it's like, we got a moment to say something we want to say to push the narrative we want, is that's what people use it for.
Oh, so I got a question. I got a question. I'm gonna feed off of that. All right. You know what I'm saying? They talk about racism and all this other stuff, but then why do they want to be like that so much? Why do they want to be like our culture? Because think about what I'm about to tell you. So if that's the case, if we didn't have LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Walter Payton, all these black athletes, Ken Griffey Jr. and so forth, right? What would these sports be like? They wouldn't be.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be.
Man, look,
the NBA is pretty much dominantly what?
Nominally
It's
black.
black.
About
Black.
it.
75,
Not even just
75,
that
80%.
anything really
That's
major
my-
entertainment. Music, music is the culture.
Come
Hip hop.
on, man.
It's the most
Come on.
trending thing. It's more popular than any other genre. It's
Dude,
been the culture. The
I mean,
culture
they
is based off
love-
of hip hop.
They loved everything about us but us.
Right.
Facts.
For
Right.
real. I'm talking about hair, our skin, they tan like no other to get color.
Right.
We
But,
want to get
but,
tattoos and everything else.
right, love me like you love my culture.
Yeah,
Right.
white girls wanting to twerk, all that's from us. You know?
Facts.
All that's from us. All that's from us.
And they can't do it right either.
But I'm
Nope.
saying all that comes from us. It wanting to be us or be around us, our culture.
The one thing I was gonna say when he was talking about how the military changed, the military did finally change the rules as far as black women in their hair. Like they they wanted us out there looking bad, but now they're allowing locks and natural curls and all of that to be okay while in uniform. So that's probably the one change I can appreciate me as a hairstylist.
Well, they
Ain't nothing
they
wrong with
want
that.
they
I
want
need my hair done. I need an appointment. You know what I
they
mean? We get that
Come on, man.
done.
they want us to fit into this narrative. You know what I mean? They want us to follow what they're doing, and so many of us do that just to be accepted by them.
Yeah.
It's horrible. I mean, you see that, and I ain't finna drop no names, but if I was, Tim Scott, Candace Owens, anyway, they do. So I know this gonna get edited. They do so much to
It's
be
not.
accept. Oh my God, they do so much to be accepted by people that wouldn't accept them if they thought differently.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
100%.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
100%.
I'm gonna say this one thing that's really bothered me in life. You got to think about this right here. This is one thing that really blows me. As a person trying to become successful, when a person gets super rich and they have everything they want, they really lose their power and lose their opinion. Do you see how often it is somebody, a black celebrity or somebody successful, completely change what they say and come on TV and apologize because they could possibly get canceled based on something that they say? So everybody, a lot of this shit, all the social media stuff, a lot of it is so fake because everybody just saying something that sounds like the right thing to say. It's like no matter how much money they have, you don't really, if you're not being yourself, you lose who you are because you don't even have anything you can say because you'll either apologize or you won't say nothing at all.
Give
know
us
what I'm
an
saying? So-
give us an example. Let's talk about that. Give us an example.
I
Please
mean,
don't
Kevin
say
Hart did that once before he went and apologized. A lot of celebrities do it, or I think they'll bow out. Like Jay-Z, I think he more so bow out. He don't say nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? Certain people won't say something and may not interview as much because they don't want to say anything because possibly getting canceled or saying the wrong things. So you know, we thinking if we getting out this amount of money, but if you lose who you are and lose your opinion, what do you really have?
Sort of like when Mike Jordan back in the day said Republicans buy sneakers too. Sort of like that.
Or
I
to
think
the-
Dave
well,
Chappelle do a good job.
Yeah,
of
I'm about-
not- he stand on what he say.
Yeah, stand on this. What I'm basically saying. If you're gonna say it, mean it, and don't come back apologizing just to make it sound good. Clean it up, because somebody gonna be offended no matter what.
I was just about to say, regardless of what you say, somebody's going to have a problem with it.
Right.
So as long as it's not, racist or homophobic or any of that, misogynistic, long as it's not any of that, regardless of how you feel about something, when you speak out on it, there are people that have a problem with LeBron standing on matters of social injustice and trying to be a voice for the voiceless and marginalized people. Candace Owens is one of them. I like to have some of that racism that LeBron has. LeBron is a billionaire, which makes what he says to me more powerful because
yes, Lord.
Because LeBron is not going to face what I face as a black man because he's a billionaire.
Right.
But he still thinks enough of our people to speak on that, where the antithesis is that is, and I know some of y'all probably Kanye fans, but Kanye, who talks completely reckless because he knows he's not boots on the ground every day. He's not going to face what we face because he's a billionaire.
Right.
Dig what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
100%.
I mean, a lot of them,
Well,
back to what you were saying, LeBron uses his platform to speak out. That's why you have some certain news anchors out
Yeah.
there
Shut up and
still
dribble.
dribble, you know what I mean, trying to shut him up. But like, how come he can't speak, but you can? Like, what's the difference between you speaking and him speaking?
Because
Like,
you're
I'm not-
because he's not speaking what they want to hear. He's not saying what Bill O'Reilly is saying, what Rush Limbaugh is saying. He's not echoing the sentiments of Tim Scott or Candace Owens or Clarence Thomas, Herman Cain. You know, some people, certain people only like you if you think like them.
Yeah.
So when did it change to where people they used to have a difference of opinion and still be cool, but now we living in an age where if you don't think like me, you don't believe in what I believe in, we can't be friends. When did all
Trump.
that change?
Trump. Trump. Because you see more of a racism has always been there. Again, you know, when the truth, reality, culture, tradition. Racism has always been there, but you see more of an uprising of racism now because since Jim Crow, since the Trump era.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me I'm wrong. Folks are more bolder to say how they really feel. You got guys in button downs walking through villages with tiki torches and all that. It's more prevalent now because his campaign has empowered them to speak their truth and to stand on what they've always believed in.
Yeah.
Sherman, I thought you was gonna say something. You gonna say something?
I mean, I feel like this. At the end of the day, man, woman, you stand on what you believe. If you're gonna say something, stand behind it. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I mean, it's just like if you believe in God, you gonna believe in God. Don't worry about if he Allah or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? You believe in God, you stand on what you was taught. You know what I'm saying? So, and everybody thinks for themselves. And at the end of the day, my grandfather always told me, you come in this world naked, you gonna leave this world naked, you can't take nothing with you. You know what I'm saying? So therefore live your life and stop trying to please people that really don't care about you. You know what I'm saying? Because
So is it okay to stand on being racist or being misogynistic, homophobic? Is that okay?
that's not okay, but at the end of the day, social media is making it that way. You know
What
what
I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say this, it's not okay, but at the end of the day, it's a point in as a man learning and growing. I always say one of my favorite things is saying that we preparing children for a world we haven't seen. You get what I'm saying? Like a lot of the things we're trying to teach our children is something we don't know nothing about. So like you said earlier, my parents gave me the best of what they had. But once you learn different, you started implementing those different things. So you may have been taught racism, but you being a person, the individual who you are, hey, I want to change. I want to become a better individual. Once I learned some of those things that I learned weren't the right things, now I'm able to put on a new man and put on new knowledge. I'm able to implement and use that new knowledge. So it's not good to be racist, but what I'm saying is once you gather, because now with all this technology we got to utilize all that extra knowledge we have. So like you said, it could be a gift or a curse. How are we using things? How are we using this knowledge? We got all this social media, internet's running as fast as it can. And then now that you're getting the truth, now you understanding racism and understanding that the blacks are the original man, and you still want to continue to run with the narrative that you want to run with, That's just what you're gonna do. But
Well,
that don't
yeah,
make it
'cause-
true because just as you was taught 1 + 1 is 19, that don't mean it's 19, it's 2.
But
Right.
some of
You get
us
what I'm
don't
saying?
even some of us don't learn that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Again, culture, tradition. Some of us don't learn that.
Right.
Facts.
No,
Facts.
some of us think it's okay to be racist, to be misogynistic, to make homophobic comments.
But at the end of the day, that's what's taught in your house. You understand?
Yeah.
Nobody's born racist. Nobody's born homophobic.
That's real.
You understand?
That's
Nobody can sit there and say, "Oh, I was born rich or I was born wealthy. I was born poor," because you never know what circumstances are. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, it's up to you to decide what you gonna do. It ain't nobody but you. You understand? If you decide you want to be a thug, you want to rob people, that's what you gonna do. If you decide you want to be a lawyer, that's what you gonna do. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, mentors, the village helping people, that's what's gonna change the world. Social media, you don't have to let everybody know what your next move is. You know what I'm saying? You just do it. Boom. Oh, he did that. Yeah, I did it. It's over with. You know what I'm saying? But when you publicize everything, that's when the trouble starts. Like they say, more money, more problems. That's true.
And the
That's
key
true.
thing to that, what you're saying, Sherman, is this: most people faking anyway. You know how much faking is going on social media?
What?
Everybody
So-
portraying an image, trying to give
So-
knowledge that they know nothing about.
Social
So what I'm saying is
media.
people being blindfolded and bamboozled. These kids
Social
say they can be
media is
successful
your-
overnight because they seen this one dude that they thought was successful. The dude ain't got nothing, don't know how to get nothing. Sitting on somebody else's car.
Right. Social
Right.
media is a highlight reel of your life
Right.
for the
Right.
most part. Everybody you can be what you want to be. You can portray whatever image you want to portray. Like you said, somebody sitting on somebody flexing somebody else's car, somebody else's money, because that's the image they want to portray.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Crazy.
just be real, guys. You ain't gotta do all that other stuff. Just be real. If you ain't
But
got it,
some-
you ain't got it. But go ahead
some-
and work hard to get it.
Some people don't
Let-
know how to be real though, Darius. Some people don't know how to
That's
be
a
real.
fact.
They've been fake for so long. That's all that's
But could it be-
that's
could it-
the reality.
But
That's what I was
yeah,
about
but
to say.
that's the real thing. What our real is compared to somebody else's real is two different things. Like
Facts.
me personally, I stand on certain morals. Like you ain't, and then we just real talking. We don't have to hate to get no woman. I know plenty of dudes who they go down talking hate just to get a woman. That's just what they do. It's not fake to them. But we live by a different type of code, how I was raised. So his real don't mean that he felt like that was fake. Hey man, you don't need to be with old boy. That's how he got the girl. That worked for him. That was success to him. But us, how I was raised is we don't do that type of thing. If I get you,
No.
I'm gonna get you on me alone.
Right.
I ain't gotta down the next man or hate on the next man. But the next person who do that, that's their game. You know what I'm saying? His
Facts.
game is gonna be, I'm finna diss dude. That's how I'm gonna get him.
Facts.
But he was
Facts,
still
really.
successful. So what I'm basically saying is different levels of success. What does success look like for you? For you and you is different than what success is to me. So what real is to me and what real is to you and you is different. So, it's about you, your principles, and learning and implementing new things. Like, hey man, that was one of my partners told me something, hey bro, that was some whole shit you did. I felt like that was sucker. Hey bro, because I respected him. I'm gonna evaluate what that was and what about that was sour. I apologize and I move forward. That don't mean I'm fake or, I'm some sort of sucker. But the moment and the thing that I did, it was sucker. It was a different way I could have done that.
Right. I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I
So that's
agree.
what you gotta be. You gotta be real with yourself, and you gotta wanna, as an individual, you have to wanna grow. And I think that's gonna make you grow. In turn, it's gonna make children grow. It's gonna make it's an opportunity to grow each and every day. Whether it's a conversation, whether it's a situation, it's growth every single day.
But some
It's
people
up-
don't want
it's
to
up
grow
you.
like that, unfortunately. Everybody don't want to grow like that.
Yep.
Some people become complacent in where they are.
Mhm.
I heard, I can't think of her. I think her name is Jennifer. What is Jennifer's last name? She plays the mama on Blackish. I cannot think of her last name to save my life.
Lewis.
Yeah, Jennifer Lewis. She said on the podcast one day, if you sit in shit long enough, it stops stinking.
Yeah.
And that was some of the realest shit I had ever heard
Yeah,
in
that's
my
real.
life.
But then,
So
Right.
some people they get complacent with where they are. They're
Right.
okay with where they are. They're okay with walking up to somebody else's gal and saying, "Hey, your guy ain't shit. This is where
Right.
you need to be." They're okay with that. So how that's the narrative that has to be changed. But if you don't have enough people learning and seeing the difference in your real and real
Yeah.
and adapting to that, then shit like that's always gonna be a problem.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, everything that's a simple point of failure. You understand? People scared to fail. You know what I'm saying? That's one
They
of the key
are.
things in life.
Mhm.
People scared to fail. People scared to be called a punk, or you know what I'm saying. You get beat up, then it's on social media. So now I gotta come shoot you. It ain't to never be like that. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
why
But at the end of the day, it comes to pride. And my
that's why
dad
they
always told
pass
me
out.
pride.
That's why they pass
But
out all these participation trophies now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we just saw that in the women's Final Four of the NCAA. When have you ever
never.
heard of the
A
team that
loser.
lost being
Yep.
invited?
Participation trophy.
Well, we're all winners here, and isn't that what sportsmanship is all? Fuck out of here! No, that's not what sportsmanship is all about. You've never heard of
Right.
the second place team getting invited
Never
to
in
the warehouse.
history.
Never
in
not
history.
ever. So sort of makes you wonder if LSU had lost that game, would they have been invited?
You know they wasn't gonna be
Hell
invited.
no.
Hell no.
Hell no. You gotta think LSU, Louisiana State University. Do you understand? Do you know where that's at? Have you been there?
Right.
I
Let's
have.
talk about it.
I've been there, bro. You don't Louisiana ain't no joke. Them boys is
Yeah.
real down there. You all right. Mess around if you want to. You'll be in the what they call it, the bayou, whatever.
In the
call it.
bayou.
Make you
The bayou.
dead.
They find you out in the
I'm for
swamp
real.
someday.
No, man.
Right next to
John
Bobby
Jay.
Boucher.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to tell you.
But
Hey.
that's the society that we live in now. Like nobody, it's so you can not give your best and it's okay. You can come and I was raised second place as the first loser.
If you ain't
Yes,
first, you're
sir.
last.
Yeah, real
Right.
Yeah.
Right, Ricky Bobby. So
Yeah.
but that's the society we live in now where it's okay to not give your best, to not win, you know, but you're going to be treated just the same as the person that did win.
Almost sound like that Jordan versus LeBron debate in a sense.
That's not
Y'all want
even-
to get into that? You got
That's
time
not
for
even a
that?
debate. That's
All right.
not a debate, bro.
quick 5 minutes on this debate because you just brought that up, and I always hear people talking about, well, LeBron got to the finals more times than anything else. Listen, I don't care how many.
Time out.
Go ahead.
Technical foul. You do not put LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant in the same category at all, bro. And you
Oh,
know
no.
that. I'm playing basketball.
Well, no, I'm saying what people are saying. I know who the GOAT is. I know who the
Okay,
GOAT
I
is.
was just making
I'm
sure
saying,
because
I'm saying what the argument what
Sherman
people will
holding
be
his
doing.
card up.
What I'm saying is,
hey, Sherman, that's your stress card.
You hold your stress card up.
hey, I'm holding
He
up.
said, "Hey, time
but you
out."
got. Now, what I'm saying is, you got people out there will argue for LeBron, saying, "Well, he been to the finals more times than Jordan, and all of that." But I'm like, it doesn't matter how many times you get to the finals; it's how many times did you win.
Really, at the end of the day, you really can't judge about rings. Because if you want to judge about rings,
Bill Russell.
no shit. Robert Horry got 7. Robert Horry got 7 rings as we speak. Has he ever been considered in the GOAT conversation? So you can't base it on rings. It's a whole lot of characteristics that you have to bring into play other than just rings.
But see, that's the point that I was making. You got a lot of people out there who bring that ring conversation up, right? But for me, it's all about what I see, right?
Skill set.
When they bring the ring conversation up, that's what I
You
say.
see it. You see it. You see it.
Tim Duncan got
see
5. Was Tim Duncan better than Corey? I mean, Corey.
You
Kobe.
see it.
Tim Duncan
You
got
see it.
5.
Peace, Kobe.
I'm raising my flag.
The
First of all-
floor will recognize your timeout.
First of all, we're gonna say this. We're gonna say this, and I'm gonna leave it at this. LeBron does not have that killer instinct. Like Kobe, Jordan, any of these other great players. He doesn't have a killer instinct. When I say killer instinct, Kobe Bryant, last second shot, he's gonna take it. Michael Jordan, he's gonna take it, whether they miss it or make it. LeBron, he's gonna pass the ball. There's no way in hell. There's no way in hell. I'm 6'8". I'm 6'8", strong as a goddamn ox. And you telling me I'm gonna settle for a fucking 3-pointer?
And
Hell no.
I've always felt like that was his Achilles heel. As great as a player as he is, he tries too much to get his teammates involved. Jordan knew when to kick it out. LeBron just kicks it out. So that makes the difference between being a great player and being a GOAT.
LeBron don't even touch the ball. If Kyrie didn't have that ball, bring that ball down the court and did what he did to score, they would have lost. You get what I'm saying? Therefore, LeBron never be the GOAT to me. Never.
Yeah, LeBron is one of the greats, but I can't give him GOAT status.
He'll never be the GOAT.
I can't even give Kobe GOAT status because to me, let's say we standing on the corner and we see a royal blue Lamborghini pass by, right? And we like, oh, that's dope. That's real dope right there. 5 minutes later, you see another royal blue Lamborghini pass by.
Mm.
It's not as dope because we just saw the first one.
Got it. Yep.
That was Kobe to me. Kobe emulated Jordan so much that I was like, okay, I just saw that. I'm not saying Kobe wasn't a great player. Kobe's work ethic and all that was phenomenal, but I pretty much just saw that in Jordan, except Jordan, made all defense a few times and Kobe didn't, but, I'm gonna set my buckle.
And not only that, but Jordan was defensive player of the year and MVP the same season.
Exactly. Well, I'm not saying Kobe wasn't a great player. Kobe was a great player. I just can't give him GOAT status. And it ain't got nothing to do with rings. Yeah, he got 5 and Jordan got 6. It ain't got nothing to do with it. I pretty much saw Kobe do what he do in LeBron. So
turning out.
That boy got his first call.
So we're gonna talk basketball. So if you really want to think about this, he did emulate Jordan, right? But I'm gonna tell you somebody that he learned from, Eddie Jones. You get what I'm saying? Eddie Jones, Nick Van Exel, they mentored Kobe before he became Kobe.
I get that. What's your point?
You get what I'm saying? So he emulated Jordan all the way. But look, them two boys got Kobe at that work ethic that he needs to get these rings. Because they knew what it took. They took him under his wing.
Until I see people standing around the block for a pair of Mambas, ain't no discussion. I got into this conversation with a guy at the barbershop. And we went back and forth. Kobe's the greatest. Jordan's the greatest. I got up to leave the barbershop. He had on a pair of Jordans. I said, the prosecution rests. You ain't got no.
Yes, sir.
Hey, listen, I can't stop nobody buying what they want on their feet now. Okay. You understand? I can't do that.
How many pair of Mambas you own? How many pair of Mambas you own?
4.
How many pair of Jordans you own?
Shit, I got a whole bunch of Jordans. I got Jordan, I got Felines, I got Pumas. I'm a sneakerhead.
Do you have more pair of Jordans than you have Mambas? Yes or no?
Oh yeah.
You got more pair. Oh well, there it is.
yeah, but then you got to look too. What area?
But Kobe's your guy. That's your
But
guy.
what era did I grow up in? What era did I grow up in?
It don't matter. That
I like
speaks
Kobe. I
more-
like Kobe,
that
but
speaks- That-
Jordan is always gonna be the greatest. So I mean,
Okay,
hey, I can't
okay,
stop
so-
that.
yeah, so
I
there it
think the shoe
is.
thing does go into the branding and marketing over, more so than the skills.
But if he didn't, you know how many people had shoe deals? Then
Before
nobody's
that.
breaking their neck. Yeah,
What-
before that.
Yeah.
Kareem had a shoe deal. He had his face on a pair of Adidas.
Mm.
I remember
You
the
had him, didn't you?
But if Jordan wasn't
skip
that
that.
good of a player, the shoe game wouldn't have elevated like it was.
True.
I agree.
As good of a player as Curry is, name 5 people that own a pair of them ugly ass shoes.
Nobody.
I
Well, when you
don't-
say it like that,
Exactly.
For real.
Exactly. So it just speaks to the greatness, the level of greatness that Jordan was on.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree with you.
why don't Michael Jordan wear Jordans?
Probably because
He
he
wear
80. Probably because he 80 years old.
He wear his shoes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he-
I always
yeah,
see
he-
him in the Mary
he
J.
won.
Blige boots.
Have y'all seen the movie Air that they just came out with? Great movie.
Nah.
I
I
haven't
haven't
seen it
seen
yet
it.
because I
Haven't
already
seen it.
know the story, but I do want to watch it.
It's a great movie.
I just
No
haven't
cap.
had time to watch it yet. Man. I
It's a good movie.
gotta sit down and have some time to watch that Joker.
You seen it, Derek?
Not yet. It's on. I think it's on Prime. So I think I'm gonna
Prime.
check it out.
It's a good
It
movie,
is
bro.
okay.
It's definitely dope.
But like Cuz said, man, I already know the story of it. So it's kind of
Right.
like, in a way, I'm already like, okay, I expected this to happen because I know what happened. So, but it's also cool to see.
I think it's how it happens, which y'all gonna
That-
respect.
That's why I'm waiting
Yeah,
to see
I know
how
y'all
it
know
all
the
came
story, but it's
about.
like
Yeah,
the feel, it's like watching
Well-
the Passion of Christ. You know the story, but to see it is like a different feeling.
Facts.
But-
You get what I'm saying?
But here's the thing too. A lot of people don't know. Adidas messed up because he wanted to go with Adidas.
He
That's what he
did.
wanted.
They
wanted to
wouldn't let him put his image on the shoe, and Nike did.
And now
Right.
you see Nike, the whole Jordan brand. You know what I mean? And it's, hey, sorry for
He-
I'm gonna
Adidas.
tell y'all this.
He
I'm gonna tell y'all
is-
the real talk about it all. This is how I feel about it all. I really ain't into sports like that. So for me to like have that conversation about who's the best, it really wouldn't matter. I ain't really like I really could care less. But I'm gonna tell y'all the real thing. What blows my mind? What blows my mind is this right here. What black people don't do is pay homage. That's the problem with I feel like is a problem with our culture. Like even for Kobe to go as hard as he did, he respected Jordan and wanted to be something like a Jordan, which made him go harder. Like our culture
Right.
don't never pay homage, and even in that, it's like they always. Why is it that we have to be pinned against one another? Like, is it better? Who's better between Jordan or? That's always a conversation when the media and people want to always make it like these white men are so great, and there's so many of them that they don't compare them. But in our case, it's like, okay, you got to pick between one of these three. Who's the best? But what I'm saying is, man, as black men, we've had to, in our mind, we've had to work harder than the next person to be as great as we want to be. And we've already done it, and we continue to be successful day after day after day after day. But it takes all of us. Like, that's the reason why Kobe and LeBron are, because they had such a respect for Jordan. They wanted to become something like a Jordan. Like, that work ethic, they had to be better than the next man. That's what black men face day by day by day. But this culture and the media, it's always which one is the best. Like, everybody's gonna be whoever they are for whatever reason. Even like everything that Jordan has done with giving back, everything that LeBron has did with giving back. That's the important shit that really sticks out. The most important things. But we'll sit and have not complaining about it, but we'll sit and complain about and argue about all of the other shit that really don't matter at all. Because we're the best in everything, even with music. Who's the best rapper? Is it Kanye or is it Jay-Z? Both of them great artists, but what have they created? What has Kanye created? What has Jay-Z created? But we'll have the conversation with who's the best rapper, and it's a lot of great rappers who have created why Jay-Z was who Jay-Z was, or why Kanye was what Kanye was. But that's not the argument. It's so much shit. Like you said, even when we talk about the reels of life, like what you see on social media, but it's so much stuff that they had to work to get to what the highlight reel was. You know, Jay-Z and all these people, none of that would have been Nas and all of that shit would have never been without a lot of the other artists in hip hop before that. You get what I'm saying? But you'll only see these top three. It got to be Tupac or Jay-Z, and this is the top 10. No, man, hip hop itself was something we had to climb over. From New York to now the South taking it. You know what I'm saying? It's so much different shit that comes within that matters. But that's where I'm with on it.
Well, that's the media right there. They always do that for ratings. You know what I mean? If you watch Skip and Shannon, they have that same discussion at least once a week. You know, Shannon always gonna say LeBron. Skip always gonna say Jordan. Because they ain't got nothing else to talk about. If it ain't basketball, ain't
what
football.
I'm saying is, it only affects our culture because while they doing that for trending, it's motherfuckers in the barbershop getting killed over who's better, Jordan or LeBron. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, shit that for them is just a cool topic can have a whole family. Man, I know a family, like when I was in the Army, they were so on Cowboys. One of my NCOs, he didn't like the Cowboys at all. His family disowned them. Because they all had like cowboy man caves. So he started liking a whole nother team. The family stopped fucking with him. Grandparents never seen the grandkids about a sport.
Bruh, I got family in Louisville. This is no lie. No lie. I got cousins in Louisville right now. We were at a family reunion and my nephew was running around. He was like 2 years old at the time. My cousin said, "Oh my God, he's adorable. I would take a picture of him, but he's in a blue shirt." And I was like, it's not even a royal blue shirt. He was in like a Columbia blue t-shirt or something. But they were just so diehard Louisville that she told me you can't even wear anything blue.
Man, it's like the Bloods and Crips in Louisville, man, because they don't have
Okay, I got
UK or Carnival. They don't play that shit up there, bro.
Well, that's like in Alabama, you either roll tide or you war eagle. Kick aside.
But what I'm saying, y'all, is not to talk too much. It's just like, man, like even everything we talk about with school and everything we've been talking about this whole time, man, you got to think about it. We as Black people, we got to be stronger to understand the devices that they coming up with to tear us apart, man. Right? And at the end of the day, it's all because we are the shit. Like, we are the original man and woman. All these sports and shit, all of this is because they want to be like us. We are the talent, but we allow the teams that was created by the white people or whatever they doing to destroy us as a culture and keep us divided.
But you know what's a lot of times we cause that division among ourselves. It's like we have to fit in a certain stereotype amongst ourselves. He's not Black enough. You don't know how to play spades? You're not Black enough.
Yeah.
Oh, you pronounce the Queen's English properly, you enunciate your words, you're not Black enough. Are you riding a skateboard, dude? You're not Black enough.
You corny,
so it's like every other race is allowed to do whatever they want to do.
But
y'all think about it, how many arguments are they having on social media? Who's better, Larry Bird or, it's shit like that you just don't see. I mean, they probably had them, but I'm basically saying, like, motherfuckers that cut your throat about this Jordan, LeBron, Kobe shit. Ain't nobody arguing about who's better, Larry Bird or Stockton. Like, I mean, they might talk about it.
Right, who's the better quarterback, Tom Brady or Doug Flutie?
Yeah.
Excuse me, I think that go back to what Ron was saying, though. Lies turned into culture and culture broke down into tradition. That William Lynchburg, like all of that was to separate us, to keep us separated and keep us at each other's necks.
And we're still separated. That goes all the way back to slavery. Think about it. Let's say all 5 of us were in the cotton fields right now, and you have to make weight. And I don't know what weight was, but I know cotton balls don't weigh that much. So you got to pick an awful lot of cotton to make weight. So if I'm in my row and I make my weight, why am I not going to keep cracking up laughing? Why am I not going to come over there and help you make weight so we can all make weight together?
Yeah.
Good point.
All of that was because of slavery. I'm not shit. I saw you get lashed 30 times. I don't want that.
Yes, sir.
So I'm not focused on saving you. I'm focused on saving myself.
Yeah.
All that falls
Yeah.
back on slavery, and that's why the Second Amendment. What a lot of people don't realize, that's why the Second Amendment was created, because once we were free,
Mhm.
they were scared of the fact that we could join up and rebel against them.
Yeah.
So they policed themselves, and that's when they brought about the right to bear arms, so that they can fend off. You got 50 slave or 50 free men coming after you, 50 free black men. They needed to have something to to put the odds in their favor.
Go ahead, Sherman. You got the last word.
Well, I can tell you, number one, I wouldn't been no damn slave. 'Cause I've been just like Kunta running. Number two, the racism stuff like that, like you were saying about, slavery and helping people, they were ingrained into our brains. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't do this, then you would get that backlash. But at the end of the day, us black people, we helped them a lot. We invented a lot of stuff. We you know what I'm saying, we fed the poor, you know what I'm saying? We fed them, we did a lot of stuff for them. And that's why our culture is so dominant, because we can figure stuff out. They depend on us to do things that they could did. You know what I'm saying? Like, you use light skin, you use in the house. If you use dark skin, you use outside. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those, but at the end of the day, we're teaching each other, you know what I'm saying? Like Eric told me, say, hey, y'all gotta get y'all out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not where you need to be. You know what I'm saying? Because she knew what time it was. So, and as you say that, man, like where I live in Virginia, they have a stump where Kunta Kinte was sold at. It's still up. You know what I'm saying?
What is it?
So,
What is it again, Sherman?
the stump where they sold Kunta Kinte,
Mm-hmm.
where they auctioned them off, yeah, where they auctioned off all the slaves. It's downtown Fredericksburg where I stay at. And it's like still there. It's a monument. And they're talking about taking that down because of the Smithsonian Museum. So I don't know. But they actually have the actual stump where they sold him at. So and that's history. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know that, but it's a lot of history. You know what I'm saying? Here that people just don't have no clue about. You know what I'm saying? So as black folks, hey man, we have the power, but and I see it growing up, and Darius knows, people who went to high school with, it's the crab in the barrel syndrome. I don't see you doing better than me. And instead of, you know what I'm saying, sharing somebody's stuff, you rather hate on them. All you gotta do is share it. You ain't gotta buy nothing from them. You ain't gotta support, just share it.
Free to show love.
Right.
Yep.
Like it. Keep it moving. But you can't do that because that hate that's instilled in you. It makes no sense.
That's real.
It's definitely real, man. And I enjoyed this night with each of you, man. This was fun. This was fun, man. I'm happy to have you guys here for the big 100th episode. We got to do this again. We ain't gonna talk about sports because I see Sherman ain't really
My boy out.
Use the stress
Yes,
card.
yeah, he had to hold his
Yes,
stress
it was-
card up.
Hey, Darius,
Yeah.
you see it. It's all in here. It's my office. You see it.
Why he wear
All
his
right.
Jordan?
Well, you know what? We'll
Right.
bring you.
What she say? I ain't hear.
Why you got your Jordans on?
I ain't got no Jordans on. I ain't got nothing on.
All right. So before we get out of here, man, I'm gonna let y'all get the last words, man. So Sherman, I'm gonna start with you, then Ron, then Caprice and Kat.
Hey, all I gotta say is just stay safe, stay dangerous, keep God first in everything that you do, and everything else will fall in place.
And this has been a great experience. Sherman, Caprice, Kat, pleasure to meet y'all. Darius, congratulations on your 100th episode. I'm humbled that you allowed me to be a part of this, and I wish you 1,000 more.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I am thankful to be here. I appreciate you, Darius. This is really coming out of my bubble. I would have never done anything like this.
Uh-oh.
They left. They probably
My
gonna get back
phone might
on.
have
What's
died.
up?
Phone
Probably.
died. Yeah.
Well, I know they show love to me, man. You know, like I said, they were one of my earlier guests and everything
dope.
like that. But definitely, man, thanks to Sherman, thanks to Ron, thanks to Caprice, thanks to Kat. Also, man, I gotta give a huge shout out to Joe Shakina, now, man, for sponsoring my podcast. You know, I really appreciate him for the support and everything like that. So if y'all have a chance, man, y'all go check out shakinab.com, man, and just go through it, man. You know, he's promoting, leadership and scholarship,
Leadership and
man.
scholarship.
So go check that out, man. Please, man. And thank him very much. And thanks to everybody who came on the platform to share this experience with me, man. Like I said, I'm going for 100 more. And also, too, man, I have my reviews up on the channel as well. So y'all check that out, man. Me and my boy James, we have a lot of fun, just talking, trying out new things, man. You know, that's what we're all about, just trying new things and see what else we out there we like and stuff like that. So until next time, I'm Darius from Drinking After Dark podcast for the 100th episode. We out. Peace.
All right.